In this third and final group of exercises, we're gonna do three things. We're gonna do a triplanar lunge, moving in 3 planes of motion. We're gonna do a tricep press up or eccentric tricep press up, depending on where you are when it comes to arm and core strength. And our third one will be a rotational plank, okay? So a little bit different as far as these movements moving in different planes of motion. Okay, so our first one, triplanar lunge, 3 planes. We're gonna go forward, lateral, and then transverse. So making sure you have plenty of room around you on the side you're stepping on. Forward lunge, traditional here, stepping forward, sinking down. Knee doesn't have to touch the ground. Stop at the point where the thigh is just before parallel. Lateral, sit back into the hip, butt back, knee over the shoelaces. Step back up. Transverse, a little bit harder. Step out to the side a little bit. We don't want to step directly behind. Out to the side, turn that toe, and then you're just going to shift your weight. Turn, rotate the shoulders. Keep that front foot fixed. A lot of times people let that foot slide with them, okay? So that's the triplanar lunge. We're just going to go through 5 repetitions each way, each leg. 2. Taking your time, no rush, really focusing on this multi-directional mobility and strength. Great exercise for the hips. From a flexibility and mobility standpoint, balance, stability, and especially as you get higher up in your mileage, it's great to move in multiple planes of motion since running is always so predictable, right? Running forward in that same movement pattern. Okay, so that's my right side. Left side. Nice and low. You might notice lateral squat or transverse lunge. One side versus the other side's a little tighter. If you notice that, feel free. Add additional reps into that plane of motion. 3. Okay, really focusing on your transverse lunge, which can get a little bit tricky, so be patient with that one. Really feel some stretching throughout the adductors and these muscles of the inner thigh as you go into lateral and then go into transverse, okay? First exercise right there. About 5 repetitions. You can start with 3. You can work up to 10 if you need to. Very slow exercise doing 3 different planes of motion there, so find what works for you. Second exercise, we're gonna go into the tricep. We're gonna do eccentric first, tricep press up, and then go into the full tricep press up. A challenging exercise. We're looking at holding a plank position, a lot of core strength and stability here, and then arm or specifically tricep strength as we push away. Kind of similar to if you were using a cable or a dumbbell to do a tricep extension, okay? So what we're gonna do here is a eccentric version first. What I like to do is set up in a plank position here and just set the arms up. See my knees are down on the ground. Elbows are under shoulders, hands are out in front because that's the position you wanna end in, which means we wanna get there first, and then we're gonna come up. You can stay down on the knees if you need to. If that's challenging for you in terms of strength, stay at the knees, which is the shorter lever. Or from here, keep the hands in place, go to the feet, lower down 3 to 5 seconds. So looking at the eccentric arm strength, see I drop my knees down, I'm gonna set up again. Lower, down, okay? So for this one, going through 10 repetitions, taking your time. Don't let your elbows flail out to the side. Keep the elbows down in line with the shoulder and just work on the quality of that control. Core is engaged, body's level, triceps, elbows doing all the work. Okay, 10 repetitions. Next one, full tricep press up, is doing that same exact thing, but we're doing up and down. Okay, so you can do this from the knees or do this in the full plank position. I definitely recommend trying to get to that full plank as soon as possible, whether it's eccentric or the full tricep press up, because that's where again a lot more challenging, but a better way to really work on core engagement, because we want that to carry over to most of our exercises if possible. It provides a little more bang for your buck. From here, you want to start down at the bottom. I'm just going to think front plank. Engage the core, lock the legs, head and neck back, push away, lower down, push away, lower down. And depending on your level of arm strength, might be a little bit tricky. So feel free to go eccentric first, set yourself back up at the top, and lower down to build that kind of that base, that prerequisite strength to get to this full tricep press up, okay? Doing 10 repetitions of that one. Third exercise, final exercise in the strength training portion is a rotational plank. So I'm gonna show you both a couple different directions here so you can see this fully. Body doesn't move, right? Body stays fixed, kind of like standing airplane we did earlier. Shoulders move and the feet kind of pivot to keep the body in a proper position. So on this side, on this exercise, starting in a side plank, but I'm gonna start with the feet staggered. The feet always move comfortably if you're in the right positions. That top leg is always the forward leg, bottom leg is always the back leg, okay? So I'm gonna come up into a side plank, into the staggered position. Now from here, I'm using my shoulder joint, using my arm on the ground here. I'm just moving my body throughout that rotational range of motion, which is only the shoulder, because I'm still just holding this plank position here. Nothing is changing with the plank. My feet are coming into contact with the ground a little bit differently as I just roll from the outside, inside of the shoe to the toes, roll to the other side. But I always want to make sure, I always tell people, stop in that front plank position for a second, catch yourself. I don't want you to go and use momentum to rock side to side. I want you to slow down and control that motion. This one will just go 5 per side. Okay, so to show you there from the straight on view, looking at my entire body, if I'm here, let's do the other way for you. Let's go here, elbow on the ground, feet stagger so you can see that foot position. Now watch, the body stays connected. Plank, side plank. Moves as a unit. Everything together, shoulder and feet are the only things that are actually changing the position. And then we're just gonna go through 5 per side. Okay? So those are the 3 strength training exercises. Going through your triplanar lunge, your tricep press up or eccentric tricep press up, and then your rotational plank. I usually say 5 on your triplanar lunge, 10 on your tricep press up, and then going 5 here on the rotational planks.